All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about 6 Bitcoin miners that I think are in deep distress. So this is my 6 miners that I think have the least chance of getting out of this crypto winter if it continues. So we talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners all the time on this channel. If you're new or if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button, I would really appreciate it. It's helping the channel out a lot. Lastly, if you want to join the channel, you can become a member by hitting the join button on the YouTube page. Members get some members-only content. In addition to that, we do a once-a-week members-only live stream Tuesday after the market closes. And on that live stream, the members get to pick a video for me to do a deep dive on. So we'd love to have you there. Let's talk about the 6 Bitcoin miners that I think are in crisis. Okay, so I'm going to go through these 6, and the first thing that I have to say is, number 1, obviously, this is not financial advice. Number 2, some of these companies may have plans in the works that we just don't know about. I've seen a few companies turn things around, so I'm not saying these 6 companies are going out of business, but what I'm saying is when I look at these 6 companies, they look to me to be the most distressed and the least likely to survive. Some of these may not survive even if we move out of this crypto winter sooner than later. Okay, number 1, Core Scientific. This stock's market cap as of Friday was $51 million. This used to be a $4 billion market cap company within the last year. So this company's down 99% already. Why do I have them on the list? Because they are still actively, highly actively traded, and their market cap is $51 million. So that could go to 0 potentially. Again, the one number that I did put on this chart, and then we'll do a little deeper dive, is debt. So they have $997 million, just under $1 billion in debt. So most of these companies face a similar problem. And the core of these problems is the amount of debt that they have versus the liquidity that they have. It's this debt default that sends these companies into their death spiral. Okay, so if we go to Core Scientific's balance sheet quickly, we'll see this is as of September 30th. They just put this out. I am going to do a deep dive video on this probably tomorrow. But quickly, current assets are $213 million. Current liabilities are $1.289 billion. Now that includes $977 million of notes payable. I'm assuming what they've done here is because they're in default and they did not make their loan payments, they moved them all up to current liabilities. But the fact is, you can see they're out of balance here. They've got $1 billion problem, and I just don't see how they're going to solve this problem. So to me, I think this is the number 1 company that I think is most likely to not make it to the other side. And if they do make it to the other side through a restructuring, I think there may be very little or 0 left for the shareholders. Okay, so just to put this in perspective, I do a bunch of other lists. So I want to show you, this is production in October. I want to show you where these fall on some of my other lists, because this is why we have to pay close attention. Core Scientific was the number 1 producer of Bitcoin in the month of October. They've been the number 1 producer of Bitcoin every single month all year for the year 2022. So that statistic does not in any way indicate that they are in financial trouble. However, unfortunately, although they rank number 1 in this, they are also ranking number 1 on my list of companies most likely to go out of business. So you can see where I'm going here. We got to be careful and look at all the information, not just one list or one data point. The other list that I've been keeping my eye on most closely is this is their performance of each Bitcoin miner over the essentially the last 5 months. So you'll see Core Scientific is down 90%. Over the last 5 months, they're down 99% off of their highs. So a lot of this is priced in, but you know, that doesn't matter. If you buy the stock today, it doesn't matter it's already down 99%. You can still lose 100% of your money. So that's what I'm looking at. Okay, number 2, Greenidge. Greenidge market cap is down to $26 million. They have about $169, almost $170 million in debt. And I'm including the current portion of their long-term debt and their long-term debt when I look at that. So to me, I think Greenidge is in deep trouble. This is one not a lot of people talk about. So there's a couple on here that really haven't been too high profile, but I think personally they are in trouble. Now, their stock reflects that fact. They're down something like 98%. But again, there's still $26 million of value here. So if I look at Greenidge, total current assets, $54 million. Total current liabilities, $98 million. So $73 million of that is the current portion of their long-term debt. But in addition to that, they have another $96 million of long-term debt past that. To me, it looks like this is a company primed to sooner than later possibly default on their loans. Now, I will tell you, the one thing all of these companies probably have in common is they're working very closely with their lenders. If there's any way that they can restructure these loans, that would make a dramatic difference. So that would be the one thing that could potentially save these companies from what is looking like very gloomy prospects currently. So again, if we go to my top 10 chart, you'll see that GREE is at number 9 out of the top 10 Bitcoin mining producers in the month of October. So they've been solidly in the top 10. And again, that's why we have to look at multiple data points. Just one data point does not tell the whole story. Okay, if we look at this list, GREE is down 71% over the last 5 months. So that's off of their all-time low back from July. This stock's already suffered a fairly catastrophic loss, but there is still equity remaining. So if you're buying tomorrow, 100% of your money is at risk. Okay, number 3 on my list is TeraWulf. I feel like the market has missed this one. So TeraWulf still has a market cap of $114 million. That's the highest market cap on my list, I will tell you, out of the 6 companies. So there's still an awful lot of money left there to lose. They are down over 90%, but they do have $114 million left of market cap. They have $128 million of debt, and I want to go take a closer look. Okay, so here's their crisis in my opinion. Total current assets is $16 million. Total current liabilities is $105 million. So this is the worst current ratio out of all the Bitcoin miners. This is a disaster scenario. I don't know how they're going to solve this problem, because even if they restructure their debt, $34 million of this $105 million is the current portion of their long-term debt, which means they still have another $70 million in current debt against $16 million in assets. So this is a company I have not really heard anybody talk about. They haven't had one of those days where all of a sudden their stock falls off a cliff. Again, there's still $114 million in market cap left in this company, which puts them pretty much in the middle of the pack as far as the Bitcoin miners go. But to me, this looks like a very highly distressed balance sheet. This is their September 30th balance sheet. So far, these are all September 30th balance sheets. So these just came out a few weeks ago. Unfortunately, TeraWulf is starting to ramp up, and they're starting to mine Bitcoin. For most of this year, they didn't even really mine Bitcoin. So they've got their operations online, and things are happening. I just worry that it is now too little too late. So in addition to the $105 million in current liabilities, they have another $81 million in long-term debt past this. So it's like the pain just keeps on coming on this one. So a lot of times what I'm trying to do is avoid, a lot of these companies have not come out and put out a statement like Core Scientific did. Core Scientific put out a statement that they are defaulting on their debt. Their stock dropped about 75 or 80% that day. It was already down way over 90%. So TeraWulf has not had that moment yet as a company. Obviously their stock, all of the Bitcoin mining stocks are doing very poorly, so their stock is way down. But they have not come out and had that crisis moment yet, so this is one that I most worry about. This chart is why I worry about TeraWulf more than all the other ones. TeraWulf is way up here. They're only down 22% off of their summer lows, and you can see some of the other ones that we were talking about were down 71%, 90%. Those already have a lot of the pain priced in. Like I said, TeraWulf has not had that moment yet, so maybe they never will, but to me, it looks like their problem is imminent, and I'm just not sure how they're gonna solve it. So again, this is not financial advice, but I would be very careful on TeraWulf. For me, these are companies, obviously all 6 of these companies are companies I'm staying away from. Okay, coming in at number 4 on the list is Argo Blockchain. So Argo Blockchain has, and this is in British pounds, they have $117 million in debt. They have $39 million left in market cap. This was one of the old established companies. So, the rest of these companies we've been looking at, they're pretty new to the game. Argo Blockchain's been around a while, but they are in deep distress. They had to, at one point in the last few months, they had to start selling some of their brand new machines in the box just to come up with cash flow. So this is a company that I think is highly distressed. And again, I don't see how they're going to get out of their current situation. Okay, so for Argo, I'm going to have to look at their June 30th. They have not put out their September 30th financial statements yet, but you're going to see total current assets is $136 million. However, this is extremely misleading in my opinion. So I'm just going to show you why I think that. And again, I'm not saying they did anything wrong. It's just that of this $136 million, you're going to see if we go to footnote 11, $82 million of this is deposits they've made on mining equipment. So that's not really liquid at all. So all the other companies in this industry put those as long-term assets. Why they're in current assets here in trade and other receivables, I'm not quite sure. And you'll see most of this $99 million is not anything that's liquid. So this is not providing money to pay their bills. So in light of that, when we look at this, they are very, very upside down. And again, they did get to the point where they were selling their machines. So to me, that was the biggest red flag. They have 44 million pounds in current liabilities that are due. In addition to that, they have about 73 million pounds that are long-term loans that are due. So they have a massive amount of debt. They have very little liquidity. So this is another one where I don't see their formula to get out of this. Okay, so they rank on our productivity list. They rank number 10. So they've been on the list all year. So this is a third company out of the 6 that I'm looking at that are on our top 10 list, but yet that are in high level of distress, in my opinion. If we look at this way, Argo Blockchain is now down 78% off of their lows from the summer. So again, they have had a lot of this built in. They put out a press release that really scared shareholders and tanked this stock. But having said that, there's still almost $40 million left in market cap. So obviously that's what I'm worried about. Okay, Stronghold is number 5. The last two I do have a little bit of a different feeling about. I'm putting them on this list, but there are 2 companies that have already taken major steps to try to solve their problems. Even after these major steps, I feel like they're still in serious danger of not making it to the other side. However, they have improved their situation drastically, which is why I put them at number 5 and number 6 on this list. So they haven't gotten themselves off the list, but they have made big progress. So this is Stronghold. They now have a $23 million market cap. At their September 30th, 2022 financial statements, they had $97 million in debt. They have given back most of their Bitcoin mining machines, and they've erased, I think, $67 million of this debt. But however, they're still left with a significant amount of debt, even after that restructuring. So if I look at Stronghold's balance sheet, you see total current assets of $64 million. You'll see total current liabilities of $128 million. Now, $90 million of that is current portion of their long-term debt. And again, I think they got rid of $67 million of that, but that still leaves them in a very tight spot. And they've taken on some more debt in order to accommodate all this. So big progress has been made, but again, it's too soon to call them being out of the woods, in my opinion. Last one on the list is Mawson, stock ticker MIGI. Market cap $32 million. They only have about $40 million in debt. This is another company that has taken some major steps in restructuring what they're doing. Mawson sold one of their entire plants in Atlanta to CleanSpark. So they did generate a lot of cash out of that. They got rid of a lot of debt from that. So like Stronghold, they have made some major steps to try to rectify their situation, but they are still upside down even now. So I am leaving on this list. So I would just say number 5 and number 6, Stronghold and Mawson are an example of 2 companies that those 2 probably would have been 1 and 2, but because of the restructuring they've done, they've moved all the way down to 5 and 6 on this list. So some of these other companies may be able to accomplish something similar to this. So, you know, there's no guarantees, but I would say, in my opinion, these 6 stocks are highly distressed. And if Bitcoin does not recover sooner than later, and even if it does, I'm just not sure that these 6 companies can make it to the other side. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy these stocks or sell these stocks. What I would say is that for me, I'm staying away from this list, particularly the top 4 on this list, because I just don't see how they get themselves out of this problem. So that is my, I think, long-awaited and much requested list of the top 6 stocks that I think have the least likely chance of getting out of this crypto winter. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and smash the like button, and we will see you in the next video.